Hello and welcome back. Okay, once again I've done things at Lugnestead, and now let's get some experience out of killing some thieves. We have some newbies to train up. I also see some unhauled tracks. Okay, so here are the thieves. Overall pretty easy, however there are a few master archers. I'm not too afraid of them, but if they decide to hit their shots on a weak target, then someone might even die. Despite that, I think we'll level these newbies, maybe even all of them. Let's leave out Adelmar. Bring in Niels at least. How about this guy? Mattis the asthmatic cocky thrower wannabe. So I could leave out a Ludger from this fight. Sure. Let's bring you in. Not sure how long-term these two are. Well, as well as Wilric, the level 4 Gerbold wannabe. But for now they are with us, so let's get them some levels. We also have this guy, who is a dumb hedge knight, got semi-lucky, or even quite lucky, finding him. He's currently, I believe, the only non-cultist in the team, so hopefully we can convert him with ease. And also we have some level 10s here, so yeah. And also, yeah, Dieter is level 10 and should level in this fight, and he has promised potential, so hopefully we'll get our first success out of that. But yeah, do I bring a Wildrich? And if I do, I probably don't want to use nets. Who's going to sit out? Maybe the banner. That's probably fine. Yeah, I'll give him like a reach weapon for this. Let's go with the jacket pike. The old reliable goblin pike. Okay, that seems to be the hills. Let's not fight on the hills, so slightly reposition. Oh, it's still the hills. That should be plains. Approaching from the correct angle. Okay, so they aren't exactly pushovers, but we should be fine even with the newbies. Okay, so Master Archer, Master Archer. I'll not advance with Randolph yet. Let's see who they decide to punish. They're going for Esvik, who is nimble, so that's fine with me. For now, at least. And despite having range superiority, they have decided to step forward as well. Sure. 37. I suppose that's the strength of the Bolas, even with 44 range skill. From this distance. Okay, let's begin doing things here. So Dieter... do you step forward actually? There's still the Master Archer with the crossbow. Now let's wait. Let's wait. We'll use the Blitzkrieg straight away, I think. So yeah, okay. Well, Randolph does step forward, does he? Actually, do I even benefit out of that, since he has a 4 AP weapon and he has to move? Plus, Unstoppable is not going to be in effect anyway. Perhaps that is unnecessary, so... Yeah, okay, let's just stay where you are. Okay, Blitzkrieg, Onslaught. steps forward and decides to move one tile to the side. Alright, well that's action points well spent there. Anyways, I'll rotate Geralt forward, I guess. And then Eswig either stays or... well, I guess he doesn't stay. We have the Blitzkrieg effect. Move here. Okay, Wildrich, let's double check. Okay, yeah, you're the level 4 guy. Let's go for this one, I guess. 29 lands. Alright, and Niels is level 1. Yeah. Always need to remind myself. Okay, Mattis. Let us not step here, so instead just either move here or hold where you are. We don't really need his contribution in this fight, but sure, do a thing. If you can do a thing, go ahead and do it. Okay, don't want to move there. Well, that's fine. Okay, I am tempted to just move in further with someone like AK, but I really shouldn't because he has 24 melee defense. Well, that's not nothing, but still. No underdog. And also, yeah, he's a duelist, so at most I want to be next to 2 enemies, usually. Ideally just 1. Alright, so Friduhelm is the Hedge Knight, the dumb Hedge Knight. Let's see. So if I step here... I suppose Eswig can step in front or rotate, so that's probably fine. Same is true here. I'll just move there. Also, yeah, since I did take the Mauler perk, that's the first time we get to get something out of that in the entire run. So I didn't actually take into account we get some action points back here, but yeah. There we go, there we go. Don't do anything with those action points though. But that will be nice once I start using the 4 AP cleaver. 2 for 1. Yeah, Richard, you cannot get to anyone, so... either move like here, reactivate this, or don't do anything. Alright, double check just how sturdy he is. Not that sturdy, let's just stay put. Alright, so that's a Berserk activation. I guess I just go ahead and get that, and then we'll like wait with Eke, or move to the very same spot that this one is occupying. Now I suppose we might rotate Friduhelm. Not Friduhelm, no. Geralt maybe. Getting those two confused. They have the very same helmet. And is that also the same armor? The weapons are slightly different. Anyways, let's see. I do want to prevent this crossbow from ever being fired upon us. So I could just move in with Eswig. And if I move here, then one rotation is not enough. We'll take some damage if I do so, but it's probably fine. Overall, I can even use... actually no, I can't, because that's 4 AP. Never mind. Okay, hold there. And Wildrich, just go for this one, I guess. Or actually, no. And that's a Vigorous Assault Outlaw. So I don't want to step there, I guess. Let's just wait with you. And here, step forward, I suppose, and attack once. Or I hold because I'm going to get someone in range, most likely, and then I can attack twice as long as I have an ally. An additional ally. Let's just wait. When in doubt. Here I'll do a hit and run though. And you just do that. Okay, so Dieter either go for this guy. I probably won't actually, since that's a good target for Geralt. Let's wait. And like I said, take this high ground maybe? Though it's so easy for them to push AK off, maybe it's not worthwhile. I'll just hold. I can even use the line breaker to take the high ground afterwards, so I'll just hold. Alright, so hold steady. Does that hit enough people? I guess it does, so let's use it. And you go ahead and do that, and then you wait, maybe disarm this guy as he comes closer. Oh, you actually have an arming sword. I would imagine that is a change made by Hardened, so the master archers are more deadly in melee. What is your melee skill, by the way? 65. Okay. In any case, things are happening here, so let's try to focus a bit. Alright, that's probably a good spot for Fahad. So just hold there. Okay, and yeah, I can use a line breaker or I can just attack for 2 88s. I suppose the 88s are good enough. Get destroyed. So is there a point in using the bearded blade on this fella here? If there is, there's not much. I don't think so. I'll pass. Let's do nothing. I guess I could have used the dog to get to the master archer, but that's unnecessary as well. And just move in with like Randolph here. This is removed though, if I do so. And of course the master archer does possess quick hands for switching back into the crossbow. I'll just move in, I guess, it's fine. Please stop going for my tactician. So we are taking some damage, and that's because I took these newbies into the fight, but no one will die here. Knock on wood. This is kind of a give me fight. Or at the very least it should be. Okie dokie. Let's just go for the highest chance here. So that is the master archer. Oh, they aren't even nimble. I'm so used to them being nimble in Legends. Well, I guess I should be glad that they aren't. Die. Okay, Dieter. Yeah, sure. Let's go for this guy. Okay, 35 now. Now I wish I had the line breaker. But I can also break his shield. And inflict daze as I do so. So might as well. Let's see here. Let's weaken someone and then hopefully get a berserk activation. That's actually some damage though. Quite rude if I do say so myself. Alright, go for this one. Pretty nice hit. Though I should have probably moved there first. Yeah, probably should have. Would have been a higher chance. Well, let's do it now. So Niels might need a bit of help here, but... Okay, still needs it. Okay, that's the berserk. Okie dokie, let's go for the next highest chance. And Geralt, do not attack this one. That's a waste of everything. So instead, let's just move like here. And I'll also use the dog at this point. Instead of going for the disarm. So Esvig can take some punishment, but he's hit nearly all the time despite having underdog. Too bad. Just too bad. Let's get next to Fahad here, so he has 3 allies again. Well, let's first do that. Okay, we might even... Can I really lose Esvig in a fight like this? Surely not. Surely not. If I can... Well, I suppose yes, based on how much damage he's taken. That was a theoretical possibility. Is it still a possibility though? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'll need to rotate him out or something. Would be ironic, given how much disrespect I've given these brigands here. Okay, I'll use another dog. I suppose you can't even move, so I'll just use the dog. Alright, we seem to be fine as long as I can get to the Master Archer, and I should be able to do so with ease. Okay, let's rotate here. But yeah, that is a reminder to not overestimate Esvig's survival potential. Okay, just move next to the Master Archer, who also has an arming sword. I wonder if there's some variety with that weapon selection. It's a pretty nice looking armor, by the way. It would be actually nice to get it, if for nothing else than fashion reasons. And I do have some flails as well as daggers, so I suppose I can attempt to get it. He's riposting. Does he also have sword mastery, by the way? He doesn't seem to. Eke also has the Headhunter perk. We'll go with a mix of flails, daggers, and headhunter. Okay, so hail time. One was enough. Well, there we go. Came uncomfortably close for Eswig, but otherwise pretty easy. Did we get the armor? Yes, we did. So, Brigandine shirt. 110 durability, 9 weight. Looks pretty neat. But most importantly, Dieter, he did succeed. Okay, our first one, finally. There we go. There we go. Dieter level 11 is now pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. So 91... Well, let's first level him. Yeah, it seems 91 since he mean-rolled these. But we can take hit points, and that's very welcome here. Does he also take fatigue? He didn't get Berserk nor Unstoppable. So nothing that can really help him. It seems he got Vigilant though. As the new shared perk group. Well, the trained perk group. So that's one way to get some action points. In any case, he does have Battle Flow, but yeah, like I said, no Berserk nor Unstoppable or things like that. So the only thing he has is Vigilant. For him to get more action points perhaps occasionally. So he can spend his fatigue is the thing. So he's not quite... He could be better as a damage dealer. But he's still very, very good. Anyway, so I was wondering, do I take fatigue? What armor am I going with? I suppose I could go heavy armor again. That means I need to purchase it. 71 hit points is a bit low for Nimble, and I don't want to take flexible with this amount of initiative. So yeah, we'll get Battleforged. With that in mind... So I'm taking the hit points and the range defense, but am I also taking the fatigue? I guess I am. But yeah, let's think about that for a second. Oh, he does have second wind. Okay, never mind. He does have a way to guaranteed get more action points. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess in that case, and with going Battleforged, we will get the fatigue here, and he'll be a duelist because he's going with parry with this amount of range defense. So I'm pretty glad that we finally succeeded. So he's now a C++, maybe even a third one. Do I dare go that far? I guess I do dare. But what weapon type will he use is also a question. Because I have to spend my one opportunity of buying a training for the heavy armor perk group, which means there's cleavers, hammers, and spears. I don't want spears, I don't think. So I suppose it's one-handed cleavers in that case. I could also, I suppose I could make a Warhammer duelist. I don't usually make those though, since you can pretty reliably destroy armor anyway. They're not like terrible though. Would help my decision making if I already possessed a famed weapon of one of those types. One-handed versions, of course. I guess what I could also do is, which is weird, but I could at least for a time use something like a sword without having the perk. I'll level these other guys here. So Niels, level 2, begins with the mean roll melee skill. So damage dealing is probably out of the question to some extent at least. He doesn't have fast adaptation either. He does have shield. Shields as an option. I guess we'll just commit to shields straight away. With the 1-star 0 melee defense. Which is a bit of a disappointment, but it's fine. Also, he's not necessarily going to be with us long term, so it's fine in that regard as well. Let's take the hit points, the melee defense, and the fat. And also, yeah, let's go with shields instead of something like 9 lives. So I could still maybe roll, if I get very, very lucky, 75 plus with the melee skill. I don't know. I don't really need to try to make like a mediocre damage dealer though. And I'm already making a very mediocre damage dealer in what's his face. This guy, Wildrick, who has fast adaptation, and the plan is to get Flail Mastery and then he'll imitate Gerbold. Anyways, so yeah, let's just commit to the shields. And then we'll see what else is in the future for Niels. I will give him, I suppose, a bow spear for now, and he can go into the front line. If he dies there, then too bad for him, but it's fine for us. Okay, so Matt is level 2, +5 ranged, and also takes fat and perhaps resolve. He does have fearsome with stars in resolve, so that's something I could do. Not sure how effective that would be, but it is something I could do. I could just go with Headhunter though. Let's go ahead and pick Student. I was also debating getting Small Target for level 2 here as the first perk. Especially since he doesn't even have Steel Brow available. Though even if he did, I probably wouldn't take it for him. So it's between the initiative and the resolve, I think. I don't really care about melee defense for this guy. He's a thrower, and if he does die to a Necrosavant due to having no melee defense, then that's also a-okay, as long as it's not going to get anyone else killed. So which is better? He's going with Nimble. So the only use that initiative has is just to occasionally be faster than others. I'll go with the resolve, and maybe we'll try a weird one with fearsome. I've never ever made a fearsome thrower. Is it effective? Maybe not, but we'll see. Maybe. Maybe we will see. Anyway, so yeah, Dieter would have been in a way better to get this at the end of an episode or near the end, so I could plan it out on my own time. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced that we want to go Battleforged. Because I'm not that keen on the flexible option. Anyway, so let's mark some things here that are essentially always takes. At least almost always. I don't think Weapon Master makes sense here since he has so few weapon options. One thing I could do though is take Weapon Master, and then once he's fatigued out, which probably does happen even with Finesse and Battle Flow, at least if he goes with like an Orc Cleaver, is switch into a Spear when that happens. And then since, let's see, where the hell is it? Where's the... there. Spear Flurry, so spear attacks cost no fatigue, so he could use a spear for a while and get his fat back in the meanwhile. But I don't think we'll do that. And I'm pretty sure we go with cleavers over hammers. And definitely over spears. I would consider spears if he didn't have finesse and battle flow. But when he has both, I think it's pretty much out of the question. Underdog is a maybe. Pathfinder is a maybe. Survival instinct is a maybe. Oh yeah, anticipation. Okay, I think we'll probably take that. With this amount of range defense, definitely. So currently 6 planned perks. Now it's 7. We can skip Vigilant. But I would like to have it. So now we are at 9, so we have 1 more. So I could also go with Sanguinary. Or maybe Headhunter. That isn't accurate because it's getting plus 15% from the pole flail. Vanquisher is also an option. The thing is, yeah, he's a duelist. I don't want to be in the middle of enemies. So I suppose Underdog is kind of disincentivized by that. Not always can I manipulate the battlefield in such a way, and I will be making mistakes, so if I do take Underdog here, it's not a big mistake, I wouldn't say, but ideally that doesn't actually matter. In most situations at least. So Vanquisher is a maybe. Oh yeah, I'm going Battleforge, so that's one. That's actually 2 perk points, yeah. Need to make some decisions here. I really, at times at least, wish there was the veteran perks, or at least one veteran perk on like level 15. Because there's so many things that I would like to take, but I just can't. One could make the case that... well, let's see, what is your base fat? 117. One could make the case that he won't need brawny necessarily, with finesse and battle flow. And I might get lucky enough to find a good -3 fatigue cost one-handed cleaver, but it's a long shot. I wonder, does it make a difference if I have anticipation based on the armor perk that I pick? Because it's going to be the first 2 attacks. I mean, occasionally if you get hit by like a two-handed mace, then it definitely makes a big difference. But on other occasions it really doesn't. But yeah, I'd probably like to have this anticipation. And parry is... I mean, what I could also do is skip parry and duelist. And overall, I kind of like doing that most of the time. Or I would like to do that. And that means I would just take anticipation. And then I have 2 perk points I don't need to take. From, well, the parry and duelist. So I could instead spend them elsewhere. But with this amount of range defense, I guess I kind of have to, almost have to, go with parry. 29 melee defense, so that's going to be 30 plus eventually. But that's, well, that is a good number. It's not quite as high as I would like. So I think that also incentivizes taking the parry. And if I do go with parry, I of course need to use a one-handed melee weapon, which means duelist is pretty much something I nearly always do take. Let's head back here, and then I'll go and train him up in Reforged, I guess, at Sverdfeste. Let's not spend his perk points just yet. So if we get into a tough fight, then I suppose I might take the time. Okay, what was this one skull? Going south. Well, I guess we are going there, unless there's a training hall in this direction. I don't believe there is. Yeah, we don't have any castles. So while I would otherwise like to go in this direction now, I suppose the priority is to get that Reforged. The thing with Reforged is that it does nearly always want the brawny to go alongside with it. But yeah, like I said, we could maybe skip that. We can do some thinking about it. If he did have already the Disciple of Davkul, I might decide to just go with Nimble instead. So he would have 93 hit points plus 9 lives. No, oh, never mind. Not that. Why am I looking at Randolph and thinking that's Dieter? Especially since I haven't even spent any perk points yet. Anyways. So yeah, there are things I would definitely like to get, like Vanquisher. But I'm spread out a lot. And I guess if I do take Mauler, then I don't take Vigilant, because I just can't fit everything, and then there's going to be... I don't know. Would work very well, though, with Mauler and Second Wind, the Vigilant. I don't know. I want everything. Why can I not have everything? Why do I need to make these tough decisions? Who put me in charge? It's their fault. So yeah, I could still consider the Nimble, but yeah, I think that would be a mistake with 75 hit points and no 9 lives, for example. He also doesn't have Steel Brow, so I need to be quite careful with him. And he might meet the same fate as Gerbold did at some point, which would be disappointing. Hopefully he can contribute a lot before something like that can happen, though. Also, one thing I really dislike about Anticipation, which doesn't apply here, but I really dislike how it applies to shields. Because even if you take like a 1 damage shield hit, I believe it applies to that as well, so consuming a charge. Maybe that's partly intentional to nerf using shields with this, but I think it's pretty dumb. So parry is definitely very good, but it doesn't even always apply. One thing I could consider is just skip parry as well as duelist, and then take like survival instinct and anticipation instead. And since I'm always getting, well, I think I'm always getting anticipation, I still have 1 more perk point to spend elsewhere. And I could go with a 2-handed hammer, for example. And then, since I'm using a 2-handed hammer, I guess I don't take Second Wind, which is 1 more perk point elsewhere. So there are options, but with this amount of range defense, and with the parry being there... Anyways, I suppose I've said enough about that, but yeah, let's sell a few things, and then I guess we go south again for a bit. The Noble War should be ending pretty soon as well. Oh, did I actually get this from the Master Archer? It seems I did. That's a change, I believe. The AI, of course, doesn't even need large quivers, as they cheat. But, okay, nice. So I don't need to even craft those necessarily. So I have a 110.9 now, so let's sell something similar. Sell at least one of those. Also sell one of these. And sell like this. Alright. Some tools. I'll also get the expensive nets. I have the money. They might pay for themselves. We will also need one more indebted, not quite soon necessarily, but at some point. So going down south makes sense in that regard. Also put the top lineup in case I do get into a battle without wishing for it. So Ludger instead of this guy. And also yes, if I did have a famed one-handed weapon, then the choice would be easier to make. Right, let's go to Hermanshov and then head on down. I'll be still careful in these dark forests. It definitely doesn't seem as scary as it does in the first like 20 days of a campaign to go through the forest during the night time. But if the right opponents ambush you, then that might be devastating. Okay, so over here we do nothing, we just leave. Let's go to Eichholz first. The Lords of War. We've seen that company before. Okay, we find Thorhelm the Swift. Is maybe usable. 1-star melee skill 54. No stars in melee defense. 2-star ranged skill, but probably don't try to make another Mattis out of him. He does have essentially the same perks though, so I could do that. Is he good enough to stick around for a little bit? Maybe. I mean, he's very, very mediocre, so long term he's not, but for now I might keep him, maybe. Hit points are good. Fatigue is good. Otherwise, mediocre. Spartan and Swift. So at level 1 he has more melee skill than Wilric, who's level 4, and who's actually trying to be a melee damage dealer, which is... I know, it's very silly, but anyways. So projected to reach 79 melee skill. He's not long term by any means. I'll pass on him. I think we are doing fine enough currently. We don't need mediocre. We don't need mediocrity. Yeah, I could do this, but I believe I'll just move on. Oh, I wanted to try out this Wildman to see if he's dumb, and he indeed he is. He's also clumsy though. But he's cheap in... Well, no, actually. I shouldn't. I shouldn't, because I have a dumb Hedge Knight instead. Never mind. That was dumb of me. How ironic. Anyways, let's move. Okay, plenty of things have happened here. Hildrich Ironborn. The first Wesenstadt company. Do I dare take these guys? Probably not. Herald's bodyguards, anointed knight. I would really like to get Hilderic Ironborn's equipment, but I probably should pass, sadly. I mean, it's maybe winnable, but too many casualties for not enough. I don't think we are strong enough. Not without Gerbold at least, and even with Gerbold I might just... If Gerbold were still with us, I might get him killed in this fight. These guys are trying to run over the mountain. Run for the hills! Okay. So here we are. And let's just commit to what I planned. So Reforged for Dieter. Sadly, I cannot get a weapon perk group as well as an armor perk group. So what would I go with if I did? I don't know. Not sure. Cleaver duelists are fine. Especially if I find a good orc-famed cleaver. So yeah, let's unlock heavy armor for him. And then actually take a look again. Has he disappeared? No, he hasn't. He's somewhere. Oh, he has disappeared because he's level 11 and he can't train in anything. So that's why he's not on the list, I guess. Okay. Well, there we go. So Reforged. That's 10 already. So let's see. If I give him some very heavy gear, what is his fatigue? Also, I need to remind myself, I guess, that if I do end up using one-handed cleavers and orc cleaver, then that's also very heavy. I don't remember how heavy, but it's heavy. Let's use Geralt's gear as a baseline. $40 fatigue after this. I probably do want the brawny. With famed gear might not be an issue though. I don't know. Like I said, with the finesse and battle flow. Damn it. I cannot get everything. Though yeah, I get, yeah. Oh, never mind. This won't apply again. Surely it won't. The student. Yeah, it won't apply again. How silly of me. Anyway. Is there a world in which I skip anticipation? Probably not. There is a world where I skip Mauler though. It might be better to get like Vigilant or Vanquisher. This is good. But is it good enough? I mean, maybe... Yeah, it's probably better than Vigilant though. So yeah, I suppose no Underdog, no Pathfinder. That is exactly 10. Well, I need that stupid brawny. So I need to skip something. What am I skipping? It might actually be the anticipation. Not sure if correct though. Against the heavier attacks, this will make a big difference. How many times is that going to be though? I mean, it might save his life, and he doesn't have 9 lives nor steel brow, so I guess I kind of do need it, in a way. And since he has so much range defense, it's not going to get consumed against ranged attacks, which wouldn't do much against that heavy armor. If I went with hammers instead, is there a world in which I skip both of the other hammer perks? Whenever you use an... Oh, I haven't actually taken a look at full force. Leave nothing in reserve, strike with everything you've got. Whenever you use an attack during your turn, spend all remaining action points and deal 8% more damage and shield damage during this skill for every action point spent this way. This bonus is doubled for one-handed weapons. Interesting. Now that is very interesting, especially if you can build up action points with Vigilant. But that would also mean if I take it with this guy, then... Yeah. What's the first hammer perk? Breakthrough. Clear a path with every strike, claiming the ground as you own. Shatter always knocks back enemies you hit. Shatter... Okay. Unlock Pummel. Costs 6 AP and builds up 25 fat. 50% of damage ignores armor. Staggers the target on a hit, pushes back the target and moves you into the position, inflicts 10 extra fatigue. So that's also decent, but I could skip that. But it doesn't really help with the perk points, since if I take hammers, I'm always taking, I guess, hammer mastery as well as full force. There are no famed orc one-handed hammers, though, as far as I know. Maybe in Legends, but not in Reforged. So that's a bit of a... bit more fatigue, I guess. Also, Hammer Mastery, 50% of the armor damage you deal to one body part is also dealt to the other body part. Haven't actually read anything about those hammer perks before. There we go. So it is an option. I apologize if this is boring you, but this is one of the most interesting, most enjoyable aspects of the game for me. Despite the difficulties I'm having deciding. So if I were to use hammers, then I could skip battle flow, because I always attack like once. Well, with second wind I attack twice. I could skip finesse with hammers. I don't think I can skip it with cleavers. So with full force, I could instead take like vigilant. So that might work. I wonder if that's better than going with cleavers here. I mean, it's better against armored opponents. I'm not doing fantastically against armored opponents currently, since I don't have a two-handed hammer. I have a two-handed axe and a one-handed axe. But that is the majority of my armor damage. I guess I maybe should even go with one-handed hammers. One-handed hammer duelist. Trying to convince myself. I also do actually have a warhammer. It's not famed, but I do have that. Where is it? Why must I, in addition to everything else, be blind as well? There it is. Okay, so if I find a good one, then definitely he'll deal a lot of damage, and he'll annihilate orcs. The heavy armored ones, at least. He won't be as good against non-armored targets, of course. Two-handed hammers are more versatile against... Well, they can be used against any opponent efficiently. Okay, let's consider this. So if I go with hammers, I'm taking these two. So I'm getting rid of what? With hammers, can I skip brawny actually? Maybe. So he doesn't even have any non-combat skills, so the finesse only applies to attacking. So the base attack is 14 fat, and that gets reduced by 25% here. So yeah, if I do take full force, I can skip something that has to do with fatigue. I think it's probably finesse. Since I also don't want to be encumbered by my gear. I wonder if battle flow is something I still want. I suppose it is if I... I don't know. I could instead skip battle flow instead of the finesse. Maybe. So if I'm thinking about this correctly, if I were to take hammers, I attack once with a very big attack, then I wait, and then I attack again with the second wind, which won't be as big, but it's something. So I could skip the battle flow. He also doesn't have berserk, so it's 2 attacks per round usually, and not always even that. So that's already working out for us. I would also like to have Vanquisher. Can I fit that in? If I go hammers. Though the pommel... Though I don't think I'm taking... Well, I don't know. If I do take finesse, then pommel becomes more... more of a thing I can do. Choices, choices, choices. I don't have Vanquisher on anyone. This would be nice to have. The gain ground ability especially. And also the passive effect is pretty good. When you step on a corpse that was created this round, take 25% less damage and become immune to displacement until the start of your next turn. And he might he might want some of that, despite his defenses. So if I fit that in, what am I taking out? Killing Frenzy is probably something I cannot skip, especially with full force, so that's going to be a very, very, very nice amount of damage. I'm still not entirely convinced though. So I could go with the cleavers instead, which is something I at least know works. I haven't ever tried a full force hammer build of any kind, and especially when I'm building a duelist. Well, this is doubled though. I mean, it's not going to be bad by any means. I don't know. I'm almost convinced to go with hammers, but I'm not entirely convinced about the other perks. Okay, I'll probably go with the hammers, but for now, I will not make a decision. If we get some easy fights in this episode, I have time to think about it on my own time. If we meet something I want to do that demands Dieter's presence, then I probably just commit. But for now, let's get some grains. That's exciting. Okay, so now what? I suppose I still want to find some cultists, so I also want some necrosavants. I suppose in the desert I might find some. And like I have said, the Noble War is soon about to end. Is there a weaponsmith here? Armorer. Let's do... let's go west for a bit. Let's go to Hohenturm, scout a bit there. And then probably go north for a bit and look for some recruits and famed gear that might have spawned. And after that we'll perhaps head south again. Alright, here we are. No famed armor. Okay, there is a beggar here. It's kind of weird that I'm almost excited about finding a beggar as I would be for a hedge knight. He would compete with my hedge knight though, for the conversion. I suppose I'll still take a look. If he's very good, I guess we really need to make a priority of finding necrosavants here. Okay, he's decent. Is he good enough though? 2-star melee defense, 56 melee skill, no stars. Could also be a thrower, but I don't think I want one. I think we'll wait for a better one. He's club-footed and a pessimist. That's not that big of a deal, but it's a slight consideration. Hit points are pretty low. And he did min roll the melee defense. He's not bad. I'll still let him go though. Okay, so now, like I said, let's scout a bit here. See if we perhaps see something I can do. I see nacho tracks. Okay, well that's not exciting. I did have that pretty nasty fight against nachos a little while ago. It's still a good leveling opportunity, but I'll skip for now at least. Okay, we see a doable orc camp. I would like to wait for the orc ambition for that though. We can probably even get it as the next ambition. So I will leave it. Scout a bit here and then... Okay, we find a brigand camp. Okay, well let's do that. A few hedge knights. So do I need Dieter for this? I mean, this build that I currently have planned, it's fine. I just wonder if it's the best one. So if he sits out, who is in instead? I probably want some nets for this, so maybe like Wilderic to throw those. Let's take a look at the lineup again, what they have. So they have some ranged, that's not a big deal. So it's just the hedge knights that I worry about. They do have a leader, but the leader shouldn't be that big of a deal. However, if the leader inspires, well, the hedge knights, then he is a big deal. Okay, I'll leave Dieter out of this spot. I'm just perhaps being indecisive. I should just commit to this and bring him. But let's bring Wilric, the level 4 guy, instead and give him some nets. And if we do well enough, then nets may not even be needed. Day? Why is it day? Oh, sunset. Let's wait for dusk, I guess. They have a sharpshooter and a marksman. Well, I guess I don't need to wait in that case. That's not like that bad. Okay, let's just go. Of course, if I had waited, it would have only been a little tiny amount of time, but anyways. Okay, Hedge Knights in the front row. Yeah, we'll just deal damage to them, I guess, instead of trying to dagger them. Okay, step forward. And we'll see, do they want to step forward? 15 enemies. Alright, I'll also, I guess, activate this on Richard. Could already rotate someone. I suppose I want to see if the Hedge Knights do this time actually advance. And if they do, then I just immediately use some nets. Okay, they are going for it. The hedge... one of them isn't. Okay, weird. It's probably better for us this way though, so I'm not complaining. Let's begin with the old reliable. Okay, so primarily use Geralt on this guy. That's potentially not a good idea though, since if he is alive, that big hammer will deal quite a bit of damage. But yeah, we get 2 attacks at least, so we'll go with it. Also, there is another two-handed axe here. It belongs to the leader though. For a second there, I thought it was another Hedge Knight, but it isn't. Okay, provide inspiring presence like here. I guess I'll maybe even rotate Eke so he gets to attack here instead of using the net, but I'm not sure. Inspiring presence there, I guess, so Geralt gets 2 attacks next round. I mean, three attacks from this. Surely that will split the knight. Surely. Alright, so the question is, do I use the net or do I just rotate AK? I guess we use the rotation instead. We'll use the net next round if it seems like that's necessary. And we also have Fahad, of course. How could I forget about Fahad? Where do I want to use him? The middle is a bit dangerous, but only a bit, I think. That should be in range of plenty of opponents. I have the rotation, he has defenses, we have adrenaline, let's go for it. 48. We start with a miss, but I did take fast adaptation for Ake. 62, so we might need the net. Maybe. Or maybe need is a strong word to use, but it should still be reasonable to use it here. Way to go, Richard. So I probably do want to reposition the Inspiring Presence where Esvig is. I'll go ahead and try this. If I do use Line Breaker here, I wonder will the Hedge Knight here decide to go for a Ludger instead of Fahad. That would be better for us, I think. So I am rotating Fahad out of there if the need arises. Do I already do that? There is a point for that, because I have 3 allies next to Fahad if I do so. So let us do so. And then advance on this guy. And be as the primary recipient of any damage coming our way. Okay. No net required. Alright, I think I'll maybe wait here, unless I want to kill this guy. That's fine. I'd like to go for these ones though, and currently they're too far away. If I do wait, then this one will reach Adelma, if he'd like to do so. Also, there might be someone in this bush. I didn't pay attention. 5, 10, 11. It seems there actually is. So I should move. Because I don't have enough rotations. Well, I have a rotation on... what's his face? This guy? Why have I not written it down? No, because I was too keen on writing this silly thing here. Okay, let's just fire. It's not a big deal if I'm making some kind of mistake here. Don't think I am, but I might be. Move. And don't use this, so wait now. And AK also waits, I think. These 2 military picks might cause us some difficulties, but they can only attack once. That still reaches Ake. Geralt also waits. 39. You know what? Wait. Alright, so did get hit by a military pick. Well, twice now. Take a look at the chance in a moment. Edge Knight is being coy. Batter hits. Chance 55. Yeah, my melee defenses are so bad with these 2. Anyways, this guy will go down very easily. let's get Wilric in position closer by. Even this should be okay, I think. So we'll use the net if necessary. There's also this leader. I suppose I don't want to be hit by a great axe. That's a reasonable thing to want. Can't rotate there. How about moving here? I mean, this target will be gone. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Let's move there. Did I have steel brow? No. Oh yeah, he has the hammer perk, so he's hit both body parts. Okay, I suppose we do go for the leader here. That is potentially going to get Geralt's armor completely destroyed here, though. It's also very close to the Hedge Knight. So a more reasonable man might decide that that is not a good idea. Am I that reasonable? Let's see, so initiatives. I suppose we can't really avoid getting hit by this. If I do move there. But if I hold, then he's just going to move in anyway and hit Eike instead. Eike does have more. I could go for a disarm though. But then I'm next to also this military pick. Sucks to have such low defenses. I mean, it's only tools. I don't believe he's in danger of dying. I might be mistaken though. Especially if the Hedge Knight does get in there. There's also the Brigand Killer with a billhook. Shouldn't underestimate that. Also, this sharpshooter is being very, very brave. So yeah, it's between the sharpshooter and the leader. I guess I do go in and then we just potentially take some damage from the military pick. I mean, I might also miss the disarm, but I suppose we go for it. Bearded Blade. 75. It has failed. One of these days, Geralt will likely die. And also I've lost all of my armor. Okay, I'm getting a little bit scared. Yeah, that's terrifying. Are you dead? You might be dead, Esvig. That was quite the move there, Brigand Killer. It seems he might be dead. We have Fahad, but he currently has only the killer as a target. 26 hit points for Esvig. I continue to underestimate my opponents. The chances are slim. Very slim. And if I do somehow clear one of these guys, then the Hedge Knight goes for it. Which means that Esvig is almost guaranteed dead in that case. So I guess my best bet is to go for the killer here. With Fahad, that is. Might still lose Esvig. Too bad. Too bad. Yeah, even this falchion will deal quite a bit of damage. Enough. Enough against 26. Okay, I wish I had adrenaline or rotations or something. Well, it seems once again, like I said, I have underestimated. If I get some morale hits for them, then maybe that helps. So instead of reactivating this, I could try to go for the kill here soon. It is also possible that this leader rotates here and just decapitates Eswig. And there's nothing I can do about that. Can't really use Ludger in any way. Welp, it is what it is. If I had Dieter with us, would this be the case? Perhaps not. How about a couple of hails here? Let's start with one. So reactivate this or not. The question is what happens once Eswig falls though? Kind of depends on what the leader does here. So if he manages to hit Geralt, he is also in danger. Damn it. I think I just reactivate this Burning Death. And if I try to move away here, does that... If I get... Can I move to any kind of spot that helps us out in any way? If I move here, then... Eventually, I can do a swing. But not fast enough. Guess I just go for the damage and hopefully get it, and then passing step here if the target is alive. The target is alive. And now I could try to move. I guess I do. Try to move. Let's see. Alright. Okay, Hedge Knight went for... not Hedge Knight. The leader went for a rally. Which is not quite as bad as going for a decapitation there, but... It's looking very, very unlikely that Eswig will survive. I could use a command. The first... Well, not the first, but... Yeah, command. That does something. I need to think about whom to command, though. Is it Eswig himself? Will he have enough fatigue to do anything? That's my question. So he will have... Let's see... 58 built up, which means he will have 32 to play with, which means he cannot break free and rotate, so he needs to... Well, I can check here, let's see. Oh, break free is only 10. So he has one chance of doing that, and then he can still rotate. Because rotation for him is... 13. But I could... is there anyone else I could command, actually? I don't know. Anyways, Richard just attacks this guy. I don't think he does anything else. Ever. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let's see. Does he reactivate this? Not necessarily. Could also step closer. What's his defenses? Am I worried about this guy though? Not really. He's going to be dead in a moment. Yeah, it should be fine stepping there, and that's closer to the rest of the enemies. Alright, so yeah, Fahad cannot get to Esvik to try to free him. The thing is also that this is one of these sturdier reinforced throwing nets. If he doesn't manage to break free, I guess he does it again, because he's not going to. Well, then again, will he be able to kill this guy? So that's a berserk activation. How about, let's see, let's think about this. Does it help if I try to kill this one with Fahad? I know that's not a berserk activation for Fahad, but if this target is gone, do I have enough time to save Esvik in a non-rotation manner, I guess? Probably not. The Hedge Knight also acts in 6, so if the target is gone, the Hedge Knight just goes for Esvik anyway, and of course we know how that ends up, probably. So I suppose, like I earlier surmised, it's better to just go for this Brigand Killer here than do anything else. I could also move here and attack this guy, the Highwayman. Not sure if that's actually helpful. Can I hit over this? Yes, so I could go for the sharpshooter and get a kill. I can also do that with Adelma though. I suppose we go for the Brigand Killer. Don't believe I've missed anything. Well, I might have missed something, but we know for sure that Fahad has missed. Okay, so yeah, command. We need to command Esvik for him to have a chance. That's all we can do, really. What I could also do, which doesn't quite work as well, is command Eike to free Esvik. But Esvik's melee defense is so low anyway. So I guess we just go for Esvik. And I can't also move next to Esvik to command to get those action points back from supporter. So yeah. Command Esvik. And then do I move here or here? Unclear. I guess if I move here, then that's Inspiring Presence for Geralt next round. I'm also blocking Friduhelm if I do so. He could move here and maybe kill the sharpshooter. Suppose I'll wait and decide. Alright, so your chance to break free is 61. He did it. Okay. Well, I suppose it's on Wildrick to be rotated in. Unless I want Eike. I mean, Eike is the better killer, but he also has low defenses, so I guess we go with Wildrick, and it's not a big deal if Wildrick does die. Alright. Do that. Don't try to move away from this guy, so we might still lose Esvik since this killer is here. I guess Eike goes for it. I mean, if... So, yeah. I can only be attacked once if I try to move away. Even that might kill Esvik though. Maybe. Headshot at least. He has 80 melee skill. It's never easy. Okay, that's not true. It's... Most of the time it actually is easy, but when it isn't, it really isn't. Initiative is already -1. So I suppose it doesn't really matter if I wait or not. If this target is somehow dead, can I kill him? Maybe, with luck. Oh, I also have Adelma. Okay, let's wait. Nasty. And the Hedge Knight... Hedge Knight has gone for Eswig. Okay. Well then. Well then. I suppose I net the Hedge Knight. They really want to kill us. I suppose I can't blame them. Yeah, should have brought Dieter. The Hedge Knight is slower. Actually no, never mind. Decidedly faster than Eswig. Fahad is, let's see. Actually, it's still probably correct to go for the net on the killer. Not entirely convinced, though. I would also like to net the leader, but I can't do everything. And I can't do 2 rotations. So if I manage to kill the killer, then I still have some time next round to go for the Hedge Knight. Also, the bandit here might just decide that Eswig must bite the dust. Anyways, I'm using a net instead of rotation. And also, as we can see, Geralt has taken quite a bit of damage, so this military pix cannot be underestimated. 40 melee defense, 29 melee defense. Killer has immense initiative though, so the only chance we have for Eswig is to kill the killer. We can't even do that though, can we? We only get 1 attack on it, right? Unless I rotate Eike in there, that means no net. So Eike needs to hit twice. And then we have Friduhelm's 1 hit. That puts Eike in a bad spot though. Everyone's in a bad spot. Well, apart from a few of us. How about if I rotate Geralt instead? Is that good? So I could maybe kill this guy, get Berserk and Battlefall, and then attack this one. And that also puts him away from the leader. And Eike can go for, I suppose, the Hedge Knight. Maybe that's the plan. That means no net, but oh well. Can't have everything. I think I'll go with that. Might have missed something maybe, but... Also, I believe Wilric will die here, probably. He does have the survival instinct, though. But in any case, I don't believe he'll have enough fatigue to use the net, so I probably just attack here, even though that does very little. I don't know, though. He'll be fatigued out, is the thing. Gets a headshot, okay. Alright, Helmer. It's definitely better to get Inspiring Presence for someone. And I guess it's here, because he can't really move elsewhere, can he? No, he can get that far. So I could get it for Eike for next round. Since surely the Hedge Knight will be alive. So move here. If I somehow manage to save Eswig out of this, I will be surprised and very glad. No shit, but yeah. Also, once I move Eike out of there, then Gerhard can move there for Inspiring Presence reasons. Not sure if that's a good idea. I mean, these guys might both die with enough... Can I even say it's bad luck? I don't know. But yeah, let's move Helmer here already, I guess. Unless it's Gerhard, actually, who moves there. Getting Geralt inspiring presence would be nice, but he's going to act after everyone is the thing. After every single one of them. So will he even be alive? Or will he have enough fatigue to make use of that? Perhaps he won't. Perhaps he won't. But he does have the brace for impact ×5, so that's good. Also, that's one thing to consider. So you could do like a dynamic duo with brace for impacts. I believe it will keep on reapplying itself between the rounds, I mean. Not during the same round, but... Well, if there's new enemies, yes, but... Well, I don't actually know. I don't know how it works. Anyways, I guess I can still wait with Helmer and decide on exactly what to do with these positionings. Okay, so Eike moves here. I'll also double check. Does someone else have nets? Well, Esvik, that doesn't help. Okay, so yep, this is the move. 63. We really need this to hit, so... Okay, ditch. Good. And now Adelmar, how can you help? I guess I don't want to kill this guy yet. We want to see if Geralt gets it. So Geralt 69, or I just go for the 83. The morale hit that they would suffer is maybe worthwhile though. I'm not sure. 83. If it works, then it's fantastic, but if it doesn't, then it essentially wastes Geralt's turn. I think I just go for this guy, actually. Let's just go for the killer. Okay, he gets the kill. That helps. That definitely helps. And now I think I'll wait and see if I get a kill with Adelmar, which should, well, maybe lowers the rest of their resolve. After which it will be easier to hit another target. I could also use a dog. So you're telling me there's a chance. I'm not going to use the dog, but let's wait. Then Fridu Helm. So I will have Fahad and Eike for next round against the Hedge Knight. That's probably enough already. So instead I could go for someone else and not also suffer the crowded penalties. So move like here. And attack someone else. Maybe... well, this one dies very soon and easily. Probably wait and decide, actually. Yeah. Let's wait and decide. Yeah, well, that's good, at least. Okay, so decision time for positioning. Do I move Gerhard here? I won't have any rotations to save him, is the thing. There's a couple of reach weapons here. There's these two. So Wilderic might die next round. He won't die immediately, though. Maybe to one hit from this, though. I mean, yes, to one hit from that. But not to this guy. I think we have enough time, so it's worth. Right, and then Inspiring Presence here, over here. Since we need the help for Esvig over anything else. Like so. Okay, so we can activate Berserk with this one, but getting this one might be better. Yeah, so we use the take aim ability, I think. There's also a case to be made to clearing out this sharpshooter. But yeah, I think this takes precedence. Similar range defenses as well. Also, one thing I could do, which I don't think I need to do, but I could knock back the Hedge Knight. Which might even be better. Maybe. I'm pretty sure I can kill him, though. The tactical possibilities. And in any case, we do take aim. Okay, so Hedge Knight or this guy. I also don't get the Inspiring Presence for Eike if I do knock back the Hedge Knight. I don't think this is even greedy, but maybe it is. Okay, gets that one. I also want to make sure, of course, that these backline weapons do not get to ruin everything for Eike. Not Eike, Esvig. I'm not in range, but if I move one tile, I can knock one of them. Well, this one is in specific. Specifically this one. Unless I use the take aim. Though, actually, can I? No. Okay, fair enough. Then we just do this. That's a good hit. I can still use a dog. I suppose I will. We want all the help. Okay, Geralt, 69. No. Okay, Fridohelm. So, I could kill the sharpshooter, but can I do that? Can I get next to him with Randolph? Though getting kills is probably more worth than dealing damage, so let's... No, never mind. You tried. You tried. Okay, so yeah, we get next to him. And that's all we do with Randolph. Okay. Will Derrick takes a nasty hit, but that's at least a survival instinct triggered. And here it's probably better to try to go for the Hedge Knight instead of hitting the Highwayman maybe, and then going for the Hedge Knight with the passing step. So move away, I guess. Yes, and now I can move elsewhere if I'd like. I don't see a reason to do so. Or is there a reason? Actually, there might be. Yeah, actually there is for future rounds, so actually move. Well, there you go. Is he dead though? Let's take a look in a moment. Yes, rest in peace Wilric, the Gerbold wannabe. I'm not sad about that. Nor am I sad about those hitting. Okay. So now as long as I can save Esvig and Geralt here, then we are fine. I'm happy with the result. Okay, so I could command someone. I guess I command Geralt. Yeah. Because the Highwayman, I'd rather not get hit by that. I don't think there's anyone else that's better, so let's go for it. And also he's next to Gerhard, so we get some action points back. 60 and 60. Well, one of them lands. Okay, there we are. There we are. This guy could theoretically still go for Esbik. Esbik acts in 4. If I move away, will this one want to move next to Esbik? I don't think it would matter though. They don't have Vigorous Assault. So I could move like here, and then these two are tied in battle. Probably worth. I could also just go and finish this guy, or wait here for him to come closer and then finish him. But I'll just do this. Oh, yeah, okay. The sharpshooter actually is here. I didn't actually pay attention to that. Anyways, he's still kind of a threat. Unless Edelmar maybe gets him, though he's fatigued out, so probably not. So I could move there, but I don't want to be next to the leader with the Great Axe. Slightly weird. Well, there we go, taking damage again, and indeed this fella does want a piece of Esbik, but Esbik can probably protect himself at this point. He has done so successfully. Okay, so the safe move is to move away just because of the sharpshooter still being out there in the field. But I wonder, can I perhaps rotate someone somewhere? Like Fahad, I could rotate there. It seems it won't matter though. Okay, let's probably play it safe, since I don't know if the sharpshooter for some reason decides that Esbik absolutely must die. Let's move away. And Inspiring Presence for someone maybe here? Yeah, that makes sense to me, though if I... then I'm blocking Friduhelm. Well, he can go for this guy. So it's kind of fine. Could have also gone for... Yeah, I could have gone for the leader from there. But at this point, I don't think we are in any trouble anymore. So... Alright, I could go for some hails. I guess I do, since he doesn't have Steel Brow. 2 hits. Okay. Well, that takes care of that. Okay, some somewhat annoying hits there, but we're fine. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. We lost Wilric, but I did manage to save Eswig's life. So I am glad about the result. But in hindsight, I suppose I should have brought Dieter into the fight. And the loot is just money, I guess. Well, there we go. There we go. So I will bring Dieter to the lineup, and then I will, on my own time, think about what to do with him specifically. We'll probably go with this, but I'll think about it. And for now, I want to head north again, I guess. So we're a bit damaged as well. Alright, I will end the episode here, and yeah, like I said, I'll do Dieter on my own time. Then we'll level him up, or maybe I've already leveled him up and equipped him. And then we have to do some camping, and then there's the option of going south, actually, instead of going north. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.